DM Live TV, your number one digital channel for business, entrepreneurship, and innovation.
We can't cover, we have people we work with, we refer them to specialists at these things who can help them win. And one of those people is Daniel Choudry. Yes. So one of those days we had a client who had a sales gap and we referred them to Daniel Choudry. And then last year in School of Practical Business, one of the best classes I'll never forget attending, Pastor Angela, I send you greetings, was Daniel Choudry's class on sales. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know one of my friends who uses your book as a sales Bible to train their sales team. For them, this is the curriculum.
Amazing.
This is a book that he has written called Become a Sales Superstar and Dominate Your Market. I know one of my friends who runs a company and she uses this book as the curriculum, the syllabus, the Bible for sales. So ladies and gentlemen, why don't you help me welcome the sales guru himself is on set. Daniel Choudry is here. I don't know if you're ready. If you're not ready for Mr. Ngavidon, I don't know if you're ready for Daniel. So share the link because it's about to go down. Yes, many of us struggle with sales, but today, that story is ending because the man himself is on set. So get your pen and paper. There's so much we're going to write down. First of all, he's going to share his story, his business, but I also told him you must share some sales tips before you leave the set so that we can leave with something to learn about sales and to go and implement in our business. Is there anybody here who does business and they don't sell? Just tell me, Pastor Flo, my business, we don't sell. So if you know that none of us can run business without sales, then share the link right now. Daniel, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Pastor
Why don't
Florence.
you go ahead and just send those greetings? These guys are excited. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to release the entire audience and all that time to you, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Worship Harvest.
Good morning.
I'm delighted to be here this morning. Greetings. The first one definitely to my daughter,
Come on
Chantal. Yeah, my sisters, my aunties, they're all watching right now.
Come on.
My staff, all of them are watching right now. I told them, hey, find somewhere all of you sit together and let's do this.
Come on.
So I'm sending greetings to everybody who have reached out to me. From yesterday, my WhatsApp was full. Daniel, we are waiting. I'm here now and I'm ready.
Come on.
Let's do it.
Are you ready? Okay, last week we had snacks. Now, this time we don't have snacks, but we have a book. If you make him feel welcome, you probably might walk away with a book. I don't know. Daniel, why don't you share with us your story? Where does this whole passion for sales come from?
Interestingly, sales, the aspect of sales, I think, started in 1996. I was in P4.
Hey.
Our maths teacher came to class that day. I never used to like going to school. So he came to class this day and said, children, I want to tell you a story. Our school has never got a first grade in P7. And I'm teaching you now in P4 that when you get to P7, you get a first grade.
Yeah.
Whoever will get a first grade in P7, you'll get a chance to go to the capital city of Uganda. So he asked us to respond in chorus. What is the name of the capital city of Uganda? We all screamed.
Kampala.
And then I was like, wow, Kampala is the most beautiful part of Uganda. If you get a first grade in P7, you'll go to Kampala. In Kampala, you see the tallest building in Uganda. In Kampala, you see the place where the planes land, because you see a lot of planes passing through our villages. In Kampala, there's the biggest lake in the world. It passes 3 countries, and there's a big ship that docks at a place called Port Bell, and that ship can carry the entire people in Kitgum, and we'll be in the ship, play football in the ship, play volleyball in the ship, and we stay in the ship for the whole year. So I think that was my first time to interface with sales. And I said, if you can only get a first grade in P7, you not only go to Kampala, you'll go and enter that ship, and you'll play there, and you'll do everything there. And I became obsessed with the idea of going to Kampala. And he said, there are certain things you have to do if you have to go to Kampala. In the morning, when you're going to school, make sure you tuck in. When it's time for assembly, make sure you're standing in front of the assemblies, not at the back. When it's time for class and the teacher asks a question, even if you do not know the answer, put your hands up.
You have to go to
So
Kampala.
sometimes they ask questions, they're like, teacher me. They say, Daniel. I'm like, teacher, I knew the answer, I just forgot. And the rest of the students would burst into laughter. So I became obsessed with the idea of going to Kampala, and I became somebody who loved going to school. And I think that was my first experience with sales, because later on in life, in 99, when I was abducted by LRA, I was telling God only one prayer. I don't want to die before I see Kampala. So going to Kampala kept me alive. So interestingly, that's my first interface with sales. The second interface with sales was in 2007. I was looking for a bit of tuition, and I went to Makerere University Business School Entrepreneurship Center looking for a short, job. And they gave me a job to sell the short courses. And Dr. Diana Ntamo told me, if you can be able to bring 20 for these short courses, and then we'll give you part of your tuition. So they gave me 2 weeks to bring these 20 people.
Yeah.
I organized a free talk, invited Bitature to come for it. Over 1,000 people showed up, and 200 joined certificate in bookkeeping, 197 joined certificate in customer service. So many people joined in 2 weeks, and Diana told me, Daniel, you know what? Never leave sales. Your life is in sales. So here is the sales warrior now.
Come on, help me make welcome the sales warrior. So then you're passionate you learn about sales through the motivation to go to Kampala and all of that.
Yes.
Then how does the business eventually start? How do you even formulate okay, now I have this passion? Because it doesn't mean that every single time you have passion equals to business.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So how do you then turn this passion into a business that we're seeing right now? Because I know you said you employ staff members, you teach, you coach, you train, you give strategy to different businesses. Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned to me is that your business is in every business. Not only do you run a business, but you also run your business in other people's businesses. Sure. How did you translate the passion into a business?
So I've been very privileged in the space of sales. First of all, I want to inform my people here in the auditorium and also the people who are watching, the congregants, that selling is the lifeblood of business. And selling cuts across every fulcrums and facets of life. Yeah. We all here present, we are alive because of sales. Daddy made a good sales. And mom also say, okay, I think we can be able to take it on that. So the sales was closed. So you are the results of a closed sale. So I got an opportunity to work with Toyota in Kenya. And I did it for about 1.5 years. And I came back to Uganda, and I got an opportunity to work with Oryx Energies to sell their LPG gas and all of that. So we're selling across Uganda. So I put together a sales team. And you notice a lot of people just do not like selling.
Yeah.
The attrition rate was at a rooftop. Like, somebody joined today, after 2-3 days, they've quit. Another one joined after 3-4 days, they've quit. I'm like, what is wrong? Then we noticed that most of the education programs that we have in this country, sales has not been inculcated as a fulcrum of it. They're teaching marketing, they're teaching personal branding, they're teaching all this, but the last mile, selling, talking to a stranger and convincing the stranger to appreciate that, you know what, I think what this person is saying, I need it. Let me pay money for it. So I started having the idea that why don't I make sales a lifestyle? Why don't I make sales one of the most important things that every people look at? When you go to the university, you want to learn sales. When you start a business, you want sales to be the foundation of the success of that business. So in 2016, I registered the company. I was brave enough to register it under my names. I mean, of course, a Luo woman, always a Luo woman. We're the description of big boys. So, so I decided to just kind of put Daniel Choudry Sales Institute. At the beginning, people said, but why are you using your name? I'm like, because it's going to challenge me to be the best in the space. And so we registered the company. In 2016, we didn't really do much. We did a few, trainings here and there. A few clients gave us. And then I had a chat with Dennis Chibuka Musoke. He was working at DFCU at the time. He said, you know what, Daniel, why don't you train salespeople from the university, and then you bring us already trained people. Because we have this challenge whereby we bring people fresh from the university, and then we have to train them for 2-3 months in sales, and then they don't also really perform that much. So if you could just bring for us already a well-oiled machine, somebody who is ready to deliver right away, then it would be nice. So I got the idea of starting the certificate courses, certificate in professional sales, and we started like that. And the need became huge. Companies said, do you have some salespeople that you have trained? Do you have some salespeople that you trained? And we became overwhelmed with the need. So now we started saying, you know what? Let's design a program for corporate organizations and for SMEs. So if you have a sales team, bring us in. We'll not train them for 2-3 days. We'll work with them. Organize the sales strategies, train them, come up with route to market, and then make sure that these people deliver. So we work with the organization for about 3 months, some of them for 6 months. Some of them don't want us to leave. We have been with some organization for over 4 or 5 years now. So that's how we started the Sales Institute.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the best concepts that we've started for this country, because now we are creating so many opportunities for youth who are desiring to be in the space of sales.
Yeah.
Now we are creating dreams of entrepreneurs for their business actually to scale and to actually make money and build cash flow.
Yeah.
So we are pretty excited about that.
Come on, people. So as usual, our audience online, you can send your questions in the chat. Somebody will be there to receive them. I think here in the house, you should also be able to ask some questions, Pastor Chris. We usually say online, but I think here in the house, you can just let Pastor Chris know he's right here in the audience if you have a question, and then you'll question it. Daniel, one of the things we struggle with, first of all, is to sell ourselves.
Yeah.
And you do a good job of selling yourself. Yeah. First of all, a person naming his business their name, they really believe in themselves, right? And that's one of the things we struggle, is to sell ourselves, to believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
And we pass that on to our businesses. We end up producing really great products. I was with somebody in a mastermind this week, a straightforward financial growth mastermind, and they said that they don't sell. They believe that their products are so good they will speak for themselves, until they realize people are selling fake things and dominating the market.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so there's that struggle to sell myself, then I pass it on to my business, and I don't get to sell my things the way I need to sell them. Would you talk to us about those fears? Because you seem to be able to sell yourself well, and to sell anything well, and also train other people to sell well. Yeah. How did you get to this place?
So this is how I look at sales. I look at sales as conversation.
Okay.
Having a deep and profound conversation with somebody, and you get a connection.
Yeah.
So for you to have great conversations with people, what is important? Your personal identity.
Yeah.
Your identity is who you are. Whether you're in Worship Harvest or you're not, whether you're in Daniel Choudry Sales Institute or not, whether you're in any of these big organizations. But I have noticed we struggle with our identity sometimes.
Yes.
Today you're confident, tomorrow you're not very confident. You're very confident with certain categories of people, you're not very confident with certain categories of people. And these are people that majority of us, we struggle with that. Communication skills. How do you genuinely, sit and talk and enjoy? I've decided to build a very good relationship with my daughter. She's 7, but I want to talk to that girl. I wanted to have this kind of heightened confidence, and she can ask me anything, and I'll respond to her. And I wanted to read the Bible in church. From 4 years old, I went on a robust need for her to actually learn how to read and all of this. So I'm trying to improve her identity. Now she can stand in front of people, and then she present herself, or she'll read the scriptures, and that's the kind of things that sales all about.
Yeah.
How do you communicate your ideas?
Yeah.
How do you have this confidence? So one of the things I see a lot of us struggle with is we are not having this constant desire to improve our knowledge. When you are knowledgeable about a subject, your coherence in conversation is better. When you knowledgeable about a subject, your confidence level is up. Positive attitude. Some of us, when we're meeting strangers, we're like, oh my God, what are they going to be looking at for? So we judge ourselves before we even give ourselves the opportunity to interface with someone. So have very heightened confidence, determination and perseverance, having self-drive, having ambition. All of these put together build you to believe that, what I have to offer in the marketplace is good enough, and then I have the capabilities and the confidence to communicate it. Because if you cannot communicate what you're selling, then you've already lost. You just don't know it yet. So I ask myself, what are the 3 dimensions that are very important for people to become very good in sales? The first one is have the right attitude about you.
3 dimensions of
To make somebody be great in sales. Selling across anything, be it in business or selling your personal brand, anything. The first one is attitude. And in attitude, there are 4 sets. The mindset. I read 44 pages of any given book every day. Why am I reading 44 pages of any given book? Because I want to improve my mindset.
We are taking notes. We are taking notes. This is so much value, and you don't want to miss any of it. Please slow it down. Again, pardon. I beg your pardon.
So in terms of attitude, there are these 4 sets that helps your attitude. The mindset. Do something to improve your mindset every single day. And for me, reading helps to, build that part of your creative brain.
Oh, yeah.
So I read quite a lot because I want to improve my coherence, I want to improve my knowledge level, and that's my confidence level. So between 10 p.m. and midnight, every day, Monday to Monday, I'm reading. Except on days where there is Formula One or there is a bit of football of Liverpool. Of course, we won last night, but that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, so improve your mindset.
Yeah.
And I also have a lot of networking. I call it lunch with a CEO. So I call everybody you're a CEO of your life. So I take people out for lunch because I want to know what they know. It improves my mindset. The second thing, we're still talking attitude. The second thing is heart set. Now, a lot of us, we're broken emotionally. Heart set is very important, especially the intimate
Heart
kind.
set.
Yes.
Okay.
The intimate kind.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we're having struggles in our relationship with our families and all of these. So somehow, because of that struggle you're having, it is affecting your soul, it's affecting your emotions, and that means you're not going to have a lot of coherence with the universe. So it's important you have a solid heart set. The third one is health set. The third one is health set. Health set is physical fitness. So yesterday I did 25 kilometers. I don't know how many of you can do that, but I do physical exercise at the intense level. I have a group, we run every Saturday 25 kilometers. Sometimes Sundays, this evening probably I'll go to Nambole Stadium, do 25 laps. Now I'm not running to be physically fit only. I'm running, I want to improve my presence, the aura around you. When you're physically fit, you're just likable. And that's very, very important. You improve the essence around you. You improve certain, there's something, I don't know what God has done with that, but when you really exercise, there is just something about you that is absolutely so attractive.
Yeah.
So health set is about that. Also eating right, drinking enough water, and all these kind of things. And reducing a little bit of the fat consumption.
Yes.
It helps to improve your health set. We are not born to take antibiotics all the time.
No.
But I don't know, a bit of pain, painkillers. A bit of something, painkillers. It totally messes up with your antibodies and body metabolism. So I exercise a lot to stay healthy. And then the last one is soul set, connection with God.
Okay.
That all, the four sets, the heart set, the mind set, the health set, and the soul set, makes you have a robust attitude. So that's the first thing. It makes you a better human being. The second one is competence. Every single day, work on your competence. If you're having a business, build competence around that business. It's not about fake it until you make it. Now, in this country, we believe in a lot of fake it until you make it. We are not putting our time to learn the ins and outs of what we do. If it's the product, learn the ins and outs. Do some research about it. Go and talk to some of the, check some of the competing brands, because we're never a monopoly anymore. Like every single day, the business that we're doing, somebody's doing it somewhere else. Yeah. So try to get benchmarks, improve your competence. And lastly, execution. Execution is effort. I work ferociously.
Yeah.
When it comes to putting effort, and if it's effort that is needed for you to succeed, I will outwork everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really work hard. They work a little bit and then they go into slumber of feelings. They work a little bit. Last Sunday, I think Pastor talked about principle and feelings. A lot of us, we sway towards feelings more than we have principle.
Yeah.
And that's, you need to have the objectivity that this, I have to make 100 phone calls today to reach to potential customers. We're going to make that calls. And I'm going to make that call until I finish it. You don't rest when you're tired. You rest when you're done.
Hey!
Finish it, then you rest. Because we have enough time to rest anyway. We have 24 hours. But a lot of us, we are so superficial. We are in the world of what I call widescreen distractions. Majority of our smartphones. The widescreen distraction is every single time there is a stimulant. You want to check. Who is that? Another you want to check. And then TikTok. Laughing all the time. I mean, I'm like, okay, so what time do you have to actually build your competence? What time do you have to actually work on your mindset, on your health set, on your heart set, and on your soul set?
Come on, people. You only stop when you're done. You only stop when you close a sale, right?
And yesterday I had a chat with one of my good friends, Pastor Anna, and I told our people that never admit to a mistake or never admit to a weakness you can improve. A lot of us, we like admitting to weaknesses that we can work on. Never admit to a weakness you can improve. Work on it. Improve it. And then your life will go to a new level of dimension.
Come on, people. So you can't say, my timekeeping is my weakness.
Yeah. For me, I'm not good at sales.
Come on. So many questions are flying in, and somebody's asking about sales online. Abraham is asking, I do sell online, but making sales is hard. What's the trick?
The messaging.
Okay.
Content marketing is one of the phenomenon of our current times. You need to customize the messaging not according to how you want to sell. Now, a lot of us, we sell, our sales process, especially online, is according to how we sell, not according to how the customer buy.
Yeah.
So your messaging must be tailored towards attracting the customer from their approach of buying, the customer buying behavior. So how do you know the customer buying behavior? Talk to them. Talk to some of your friends. In this kind of products, how do you usually buy? And then customize the message that appeal to their emotions in that line.
Yeah.
And that's the best way you can be able to sell online or sell anywhere. Do not just say this is a sales process, this is how you're supposed to sell, that is based on how you think the marketplace should buy.
Yeah.
You'll always eat a wall.
Come on. So I know that you run the Sales Institute. And also your strategist, you coach, you train, but also help other people sell. Let's talk about the Institute. What happens in the Institute? How do people get into the Institute? What do they learn in the Institute? And how many people have you trained so far?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. So the Institute, we have two courses. We have the certificate in professional sales. That is, I call it for the foot soldiers. And then we have certificate in sales management and planning. So the sales management planning is for the SME owners, the startups, the CEOs, the head of sales. Certificate in professional sales is for everyone who just want to join the world of sales. So our institute program is based on these 5 dimensions. The first one is, how do you set a sales strategy for your business? That's the first one we look at. And we double down on that for a few, classes. The second one is the roles and structures of the sales function. You need to design a proper roles and structures of the sales function that allows the salespeople to sell according to how the buyers want to buy.
Yeah.
Now, oftentimes, many of us who are entrepreneurs, we bring salespeople, we don't give them proper roles and structures of how they're supposed to perform. The third one now is the salesperson themselves.
Yeah.
There now we're looking at the attitude, the competence, the execution. We train you on that. How do you have this identity that is formidable? How do you have this identity where you're unstoppable, you're confident, you're assertive, you're attractive? Because people buy from people they like.
Yeah.
You got to build that kind of, likability scale. People got to like you. If I don't like you, I'm not going to buy from you, no matter how good your product is. So you have to work on that.
Yeah.
So we work on the salesperson, and then the third one is the activities.
Yeah.
That's the third one, the fourth one. The fourth one, the activities. What key activities are you supposed to do to get your business to succeed?
Yeah.
What are those things? The phone calls, the prospecting, the field engagements, the market storm, all those activities that you have to do, what I call critical sales activities, that if you do on a daily and you do them with quality, you should succeed. But if you do them haphazardly and you don't do them on a daily, then you'll just be faking it until you make it. So work on those activities. We train on those activities. The fifth one is the customer needs. We tell you, we train you about the customer buying behavior.
Yeah.
How are they buying currently? Based on this kind of, very open globalized market where everybody can get anything online.
Yeah.
People can first research your product and do comparisons of alternatives. So we train you on the customer buying behavior. How do they actually buy? And lastly, we now talk about the organizational needs.
Yeah.
Revenue targets. Now, the problem with a lot of companies is they recruit salespeople, that is the salesperson, and immediately start demanding for results.
Yeah.
They have not done anything about strategy. They have not done anything about roles and structures. They have not done anything about activities. They have not done anything about the customer buying behavior. And now you're expecting this person to actually deliver. They won't. You are throwing them in the middle of the ocean with sharks and telling them, swim. They will let you down. So we train in the institute how somebody can be robust, and this word, tantalizing in sales.
Hey, tantalizing in sales. Hey. You've talked about strategy a couple of times while you were speaking. Strategy. How can someone come up with a sales strategy before they send their salesmen out there? Would you just give us a tip or two on strategy when it comes to sales?
So the first thing that you have to look at in strategy is the customer needs, what I call what does the customer actually need based on what you're offering? Then secondly, you also need to isolate who is my ideal customer profile.
Yes.
Okay? Because not everybody is going to be your buyer. Who is my ideal customer profile?
Okay.
Then the third one is, how do I design a value proposition
All right.
that is in alignment with that customer segment that I want to buy my product? So you design a very unique and customized value proposition that matches the need of the customer segment that you're selling to. And then lastly, design a message.
Okay.
The messaging. Now, a lot of us also have a problem with the messaging. We in the world of copy and paste a lot. You go online, search on Google, what is this one saying? Copy this one. I think this one looks similar to what I'm doing. And then you paste it on your brochure, paste it on your website. You need to be original.
Yeah.
So think through the messaging and customize the messaging that the customer will feel some emotional attachment to. Because listen, people buy because of trust and credibility.
Yeah.
I gotta trust you, and I have to think that you're credible. So 60% of why people buy is because of trust and credibility. It's not about closing sales. If I have to trust you first, from the initial conversation, are we building some level of trust? Do we have a connection? If the connection doesn't exist, then work on that first. Because a lot of us, we sell to strangers from the beginning of the sale to the end of the sale. We are talking to a stranger.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You have not kind of taken interest in the person. You have not interacted with the person. You don't know the needs of the person. So that's where a lot of us get sales that doesn't close. We start very well, it doesn't close. Why? Because you have not paid attention to build trust and credibility. So we could go on and on about how do you build trust and credibility, but let me just leave it there. That's, I think, the part where you're going to call me after this talk. Yeah. So the second thing is discovery of needs.
Yeah.
When I trust you and I think you're credible, then I will be able to tell you what my needs are.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I tell you my needs, then in your mind now you're going to start to customize exactly. So this product, these solutions that I have, how does it serve this customer in the needs that they have? So people will only tell you their needs when they trust you. People will only tell you their needs when they think you are credible.
Yeah.
So you have to first prove to them that, look here, what I am doing, we have done it for so long, we have done it for so and so companies, and we have results from that. So they will tell you the needs, and then you'll customize your presentation of a solution that matches the need. Yeah, your solution must match the need. Now the problem is, majority of us, we start ourselves from presentation of solutions. I am called Daniel Choudry from the Daniel Choudry Sales Institute. We want to train your people. Really?
Yeah.
Like, who said that they need training? You don't even know my need. What are you going to train on? So it's important that you present a solution that matches the need. I am Chris, and we deal in collections of garbages and all of that. Can we come and work with you? Do I trust you? No. Do I think you're credible? No. So what right have you earned to present that solution? So it's very important you first gain the trust and credibility, ask for the needs, and then present solutions that matches the need, and then people will sign up.
Trust and credibility. Ask for the need.
Yeah, need discovery.
Yes.
Proper need discovery.
Yeah.
Presentation of solutions. And then closing the sale.
Let's do that again.
Trust and credibility contributes 60% of why people buy.
Come on.
Needs discovery contributes 20% of why people buy.
And then
Presentation of solutions is 10%. Closing the sale is 10%. Now, a majority of us spend time in the 20%. Presentation of solution and closing the sale. That's just 20%. We have left behind 80%. That is trust and credibility and needs discovery.
Come on, people. I'm sure just with that piece of knowledge, you can close a sale today. And the biggest part of that is credibility. I think most of us, you gave an example earlier that most of us are a product of our parents' conversation. Trust had to be there, right? Trust has to be there. And then the solution, the product, finding out what the person actually needs, what are their needs, and then offer the solutions that are in line, then close the sale.
And this is to the parents too. Parents, you need to help your children. Some of you are Hitler to your kids. You're terrorist. And that makes the child struggle to build trust and credibility later in their life.
Wow.
So when the parents hear the children hear the vehicle coming in, let them open the door to come welcome you. Not run to their bedrooms because, trouble has come now. Now, some of us, we take all the stress
Yeah.
back home, and the child wants to engage with you. They want to talk to you, but you're not giving them access.
You're Hitler.
Yeah, you're very tough. You're always trying to look for faults in them. So the children don't have a conversational, relationship with you. Now, later on, they won't also have that with the people that they're going to stand in front of their interviews with. So it's important that you give these children that kind of relation where they know, Daddy has got my back.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, when they go to church, allow them to talk to strangers.
Yeah.
But in church, there is that kind of, confines where you can trust people, they can greet people, they can engage, but then you start telling them, don't talk to strangers. But we're in the business of actually selling to strangers. The majority of your sales is to strangers.
Yeah.
Now, if your child cannot talk to strangers, then what are they going to sell? Wow. And then you also don't tell them, don't eat at the neighbors. Yeah, so all these small things, it affects them later on, because that's what sales is all about. Is having the confidence to know that my parent know when I'm doing the right thing or wrong thing. Why? Because they allowed me that room to talk to people, to come to church and talk to people as well. But now most of us, we have been trained, don't talk to strangers, and now when it's time for us to actually talk to strangers, we are so afraid.
Yeah.
And that affects our conversation a lot.
Come on, people, help me appreciate Daniel. I see Mona. Mona is like this. I know. All of us are quite overwhelmed with this information, but I know there's a book that some people are already asking online. Where can they find it? How can they get it?
Yeah.
And you're going to give us those details at the end.
Okay.
But I want us to get a bit practical. Anybody ready for a practical one? Could you share with us a story of one of the best sales deals you've ever closed? Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, it just happened a couple of days ago. Actually, two of them just happened a couple of days ago.
Let's hear them.
So, I don't know whether it's okay for me to mention names here. I
If
would
it's
love
a good
to.
thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years I've been doing some work with Vision Fund, training their salespeople, coming up with different strategies for them. So recently I got an opportunity to present to the board of Vision Fund International. And I was they're trying to get a consultant to do training for all the CEOs of Vision Fund across Africa.
Come on.
And that's about 16 different countries. And I gave a very good presentation, and they asked all the questions, and I was able to ace them. And they gave me the training for all the CEOs of Vision Fund Africa.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Top dollar.
Yeah.
Please don't ask me, but top dollar. So that's one. Another one is I traveled to Dubai last March. I was in Dubai, and I went there to train. Of course, I took people from here, and then I trained them there. I went for the expo. It was great. But I decided to say, you know what? I cannot be in Dubai and I don't enter some company and see exactly what their needs could be in sales. So I entered the Bank of Iran. Yes, and I told them, look here, I'm a sales consultant, and I want to talk to your people. Okay, yeah, can I talk to the CEO? And thankfully, the CEO, Mr. Mohammed, was very open to the idea. So I'm like, look here. So I showed him my book. I'm like, I'm one of the best sales consultants on the continent, Africa, but now I want to make it global. And part of being global is doing some work with you right now. Then said, you mean you can train the salespeople? I'm like, yes. He said, do you want to do it now? Because my salespeople is just on the side in one of the rooms. I'm like, yes, let's do it. So it took me to the section where the salespeople sit, and I gave a 1 hour talk. And that 1 hour talk has given me training in Dubai, in Jeddah, in Doha. So, yeah. That's what bravery can do to you. So it's ridiculous what's going to happen, and we're going to dominate, period.
We are going to dominate. Drop the mic. Wow, Daniel. So I'm sure people want to get into the institute. First of all, people want to get into the institute. We want to know how can we get into the institute, and how can we find this book. If you want to buy it online or in the stores, where can we find it?
So first and foremost, everybody needs sales. I need us to work together. So you check our website. Just go to the Google platform and do Daniel Choudry Sales Institute. Our website will come as the top website, but it's dcsalesinstitute.co.ug. Please, all our details.
Could you say that again?
dcsalesinstitute.co.
Okay.
So the website, you can also register there for a course. If you want to do a course, you can register there for a one-on-one if you want coaching, because some of you are, CEOs and you just want a one-on-one coaching to see a way of how to, do the sales effectiveness drivers and all of that. We can do that for you. But the book, you can get it here at Worship Harvest. That's the first one. Yeah. Secondly, you can get from Aristoc.
Yeah.
We are at Aristoc bookstore, so all of them, the three Aristoc, and then also Jumia. You can order for the book on Jumia. Just search for Daniel Choudry. Then they'll bring all the products to Daniel Choudry. But listen, sales the lifeblood of every business. I want to train you. I want to make you better, period. So why don't we talk together? Yeah, let's do it. Reach out.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Come on, let me hear it for Daniel this morning. Yeah. I don't know people who don't watch Business Garage, what do they watch? Help me understand. What do they watch? Guys, you need to share. First of all, you need to rewatch this. I need to rewatch this. You need to rewatch this and possibly watch it with anybody you care about. Send them the link so they can watch it, listen to it. I think in itself is very helpful, so thank you. Somebody in the audience is asking how much the course is, but I don't like to go at it at that angle. Guys, it's not much about the money. It's much about the value. So just go to the website, see what DC is offering, and then engage with them. The money is the least of these things, because the money you're going to make after learning how to sell
10 times,
100 times, even more than what you've invested. So I think it's a small investment, and we all can absolutely do it.
And we need to inculcate the culture of reading in our lives.
Yeah.
Listen, reading just changes a lot about you. For the last 4 years, I read 4 books a month. And not that I'm trying to compete with somebody who read too much, but reading has helped me to become so excellent at my craft. But also build my confidence, my likability. That is 5 E's. Your energy improves when you read a lot.
Let's get our pens and paper.
Your energy improves. Your enthusiasm about life improves. And enthusiasm about selling. Your endurance level will be with a smile, not with a prolonged mouth. Some of us, when we're enduring, our mouth is up to there, like the muscles of our head want to pop out. So, and then you educate yourself, self-education, and then you put in massive effort with knowledge. Massive effort. Effort is the last one.
All right, people, help me appreciate Daniel one more time. Don't get tired. And if yes, you could still go ahead and give him a standing ovation. Feel free, because what he has just shared with us this morning, just this by itself can change our businesses. So thank you so much, Daniel. You may have your seats to the audience. Thank you so much. Thank you, Daniel, for coming, for being here. Yeah, you can stay seated. We are still here. Pastor, by the way, just bragging rights, Daniel is one of our facilitators in the School of Practical Business. Yeah. So yes, if you haven't yet enrolled for School of Practical Business, you better do it, because he's one of our guys. He's the one who teaches us here how to make sales and become superstars and dominate our market.
The School of Practical Business, I want to encourage every member of Worship Harvest watching right now. These ones are already converted. These ones who are here in the auditorium. But you who is watching, and you have tuned in specifically for this program because Daniel was coming on it. The School of Practical Business helps you to build a seamless flow of your business from start to building it to $1 million. $1 million. That's what we're talking about. So when your business gets to $1 million, you become unstoppable. The challenge is from taking your business from $1 to $1 million. After that, your business will flow with the right structures and the right processes. Everything works. And the School of Practical Business is the best. I tell you, the best. Together with the Sales Institute, we should work together. So please enroll to the School of Practical Business. I want to now change. I want to be the one to ask you the question now. How do they enroll to the School of Practical Business?
That's the easy stuff. So first of all, the School of Practical Business is part of Harvest Institute. Harvest Institute, we train skilled, strategic servant leaders, because we believe in Africa we are not short of resources. We have so many resources, but we lack the leaders who are going to translate those resources to transform their communities. So when you join Harvest Institute, the first course you do is in School of Leadership, to first of all learn how to lead yourself as a leader. And then from that, you can now enroll for School of Ministry and School of Practical Business. But it's important you do School of Leadership first, so you can learn the basics of personal leadership, organizational leadership, etc. Then you can specialize in School of Practical Business. So if you're watching me and you've never joined the Harvest Institute, you've never done School of Leadership, you should enroll today. Just go to harvestinstitute.org. And then if you finish School of Leadership and you've never considered doing School of Practical Business, joining or enrolling, go ahead and go to the website and enroll today, because you'll meet people like Daniel Choudry, you'll meet Chris Kawesa, you'll meet Grace Munira, you'll meet Mona, you'll meet all those amazing business leaders to coach you, train you, mentor you to become an excellent kingdom business leader.
There you
All
have
right.
it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
the School of Practical Business is the place to be. As the interviewer of this wonderful morning business garage. Amen. It's
I need this training. I wasn't ready for it. Now I need it. I need to go back and do my value proposition very well. My confidence, etc. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. By the way, this week on Tuesday, tell your neighbor, this week on Tuesday, one of the things you've mentioned that came across in all that you said was the importance of adding value to ourselves through reading, studying, being coached, taught, trained. Because when we do that really well, first of all, we gain confidence, and then we become competent. And this week on Tuesday, we have a business leaders breakfast here at Worship Harvest Nalia with a renowned business leader who coaches. He's actually not primarily a business leader, but he's called Mike Breen. And one of the things he does, out of the many other things he does, is coach business leaders. And he's come to us all the way from the United States of A. Come on, people.
Yeah.
So you need to be here, to be in the house, to be part of that breakfast, because when we learn, we become confident.
Yes.
And then we become competent in whatever we do. And there'll be so many other business leaders who will be in the house. So there's a link right now running through the charts. Just go ahead and click that link and sign up for that breakfast. It's only going to cost you $50,000, which is your breakfast really. But the knowledge you are going to get through with Mike Breen and the many other people who are going to be here is not even worth compare. It's not, you can't compare it.
You got to attend this.
You have to attend it. So go ahead and sign up for the business breakfast. It's happening this week on Tuesday here at Worship Harvest Nalia. I think it's Pastor Chris. It's from what time to what time? Could you remind me? From 7 to 10. From 7 a.m.
7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yes. Just sign up for the business leaders breakfast here at Worship Harvest Nalia on Tuesday this very week. All right. We never want to close our broadcast without giving you an opportunity to receive Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior. So if you're watching us, you received a link from somebody, you just stumbled on this broadcast, we want to give you an opportunity to receive Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior. It's Jesus that completely transforms our lives. And if you heard what Daniel said, most of it, what he said basically, comes from God. It really comes from God. The confidence, the competence, the skills, all of that is innate. Actually, God creates us with all of that within us. And so coming in a relationship with Him basically puts you in touch with your Maker who created you to be excellent at everything that you do. So it's very simple. Just say these words after me. Say, "Dear Jesus, I come to you today because I believe you created me. I give you back my life. Take it and do something significant with it." If you've just said that prayer right now, come on, people, you are now born again. Yes, you are now reconciled with your Creator, with your Maker, the King of Kings, the one who has given us this opportunity to do business God's way, to transform not only just our lives, but entire nations, but an entire world as a result. So go ahead and click that number. There's a number running on your screen. Don't click it, just type it in, dial it in your phone. There's a pastor behind that line who is going to help you make sense of the decision you have just made. The number, if you're listening, is 0775-642-449. 0775-642-449. That's the number you should call today. You should WhatsApp today if you have just made a decision to follow Jesus. But also if you need prayer. Yeah, sometimes we run businesses and we get lonely in there. We have so much trouble going on. You just need prayer. There's a pastor behind that line who will pray with you through whatever you're going through. And I'm sure there will be a breakthrough for you and your business. Thank you so much for joining us here at Business Garage. Thank you for being here.